Hello and welcome to Writing for Communication summer semester. I'm really excited to have you guys here. This is my second time teaching this class, but my first time online. So I'm interested to see how the dynamic is different, but I'm sure it'll be great. And I've looked at your guys' majors and your interests. Well, not your interests. I'm not a stalker, but basically your majors. And I'm really excited to have you guys in this class, and I hope you guys can learn what you need to from this course. So this is Communication 1130, obviously, Writing for Communication. My name is Kate Johnston. I will obviously be your instructor for this semester. You can call me Kate, you can call me Professor Johnston, Ms. J, whatever you want to, whatever you feel most comfortable with when you're addressing me through emails. I have my Bachelor of Arts in English with a creative writing emphasis. I obtained it from SUU in 2016, and then I slid right into the communication department and graduated with my Master of Arts in Professional Communication in the spring of 2018. So that's a little bit of my background and why I'm qualified to teach you guys this class. And I'm really excited to give you the base information that you need to move on to your other courses in the communication department, specifically the media courses and the strategic communication courses. That's kind of what this class is as a feeder into those. In terms of communication preferences, I would love if you could use my suu.edu email or message me through Canvas. I know you guys have access to my personal email, but your messages get lost. I will not be able to message you back through that account. I just have too many messages coming in. So please email me on my suu.edu or through Canvas. We don't have office hours for this class because it is online. So I will consider my office hours to technically be 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So if you email me during that time, I should be able to get back to you pretty quickly. But it just depends on the meetings and things that I have during that day. With that said, I really want you to stay on top of your assignments and your readings and look at them before they're due, things like that. So if you have a question, you can message me with plenty of time to get a response and utilize that response for your assignment. In terms of the text for this class, I'm going to provide all of your texts, but if you want some supplementary help in terms of style and rhetoric and grammar, usage, things like that, I would highly recommend Strunk and White's The Elements of Style. I really love this book. It's a little dated, but it still holds a lot of great information. I would suggest you purchase the Kindle version because it's only $1.89, which is not bad. It may be like a daily deal or something, but it's still a pretty good deal when it's not on the daily deal. I think it's $4 when it's not $1.89. I'm not sure how long the sale would last, but it is a great book to kind of give you that base for style and basically coming up with your own unique twist to writing. It's not going to be a twist, but it's your own approach to writing. And then you can take that and use it in your future courses or for the assignments in this class, your career, whatever you're looking for. I really love this book, and you can use it for more than just this class. So basically in this class, we're going to be focusing on your writing skills for successful communication. We are taking the academic portion out of this, meaning we're not doing the essay. We are going to revamp this course, and we're going to take the academic portion out because you guys will get that from your English courses as well as your research courses as you go through this track in the communications department. So we're really going to focus on media, strategic, and a little bit of technical communication in this course to prepare you for the media track and the strategic track with Jen Burt and Hayden Coombs, and they are great professors. So I'm really excited to help you jump into that. Aside from all of this stuff, we're going to focus on your writing technique in terms of grammar and spelling, usage, vocabulary, punctuation, things like that. I have noticed that students I've taught in the past really struggle with writing. Not just finding the topic, but with their grammar, their spelling, vocabulary, punctuation, things like that. So I've provided some quizzes that will help you with this background. I also want to do a little plug-in. Remember, not the 5th of November, just kidding. Remember to go through your work before you submit it. I don't want you guys losing points because you accidentally spelt 2 with 2 O's when it should have been 1, or just mistakes that you can pick up if you read through your work 1 time or 2 times before submitting it. I would also encourage you guys to read your work aloud. You can trust your ear. Your ear will pick up on some kind of quirks in your writing that maybe your eyes would get used to after reading it a couple of times, okay? In terms of course goals, you can go through these yourselves. I really want to work on improving your writing skills. Not just that, but confidence in writing. The 2 topics I think students struggle with most on campus is presentations and writing. And I really want to help you build that confidence in writing. I also want you to work on your critical thinking skills and your analytical thinking skills. A lot of this kind of writing, it's going to be creative in trying to piece together the puzzle to get this main image. But we are stripping away a lot of the superfluous text that we don't need from maybe an essay approach or a creative writing approach. So I really want you to work on that strategy and that critical thinking skill. And I'm really excited to see your guys' improvement on this. In terms of scheduling and assignments, everything that you need is on Canvas right now in the module section. You can access stuff through the files or assignments or quizzes, but it's a little chaotic because I didn't do things in order. So just go to the module section and I'll take you there in a minute and show you what I have set up for you guys. The only thing that's not there right now are the weekly videos like this that I will post to kind of give you that extra lecture and introduction to the assignments that we're going to have for this class, okay? I'm having a hard time uploading them. It's just the internet and it's a struggle, but keep an eye open for those. You can work ahead in this class, but give me a second to upload some of those videos before you just jump right into this course. In terms of research participant, we shouldn't have any students needing surveys or anything done this semester, but I will offer extra credit if a student needs help with research. It's basically just a survey. You click on the link, answer the questions, and I'll give you a few points extra credit. So we'll see if that works. It's all voluntary. I'm not going to force you to do it. It's up to your discretion. In terms of late work, don't like it, won't accept it. I don't have the lock on the assignment after the due date. So technically speaking, you can turn it in after the due date, but you will still get a 0. Deadlines are so hard and so fast in the professional and academic world. You need to be able to keep on top of your writing. So no late work. This is going to be especially difficult because we're taking an entire semester worth of information and shoving it into the first session of summer. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We won't be able to do some of the in-class activities that I normally do, but I think I have supplied enough information that you guys will retain the information well if you stay on top of your work and if you make sure you're turning your stuff in on time. Plagiarism. I always have some issues with plagiarism, so I want to make this very clear. Plagiarism in this class, in any academic setting, is unacceptable. On your first offense, I will fail you on that assignment. On your second offense, I'll fail you for the entire class. I am dead serious about plagiarism. I want you building your own writing portfolio, building your own critical thinking skills. I don't want you to just take somebody else's work and call it your own, okay? If you still need a stronger definition on what plagiarism is, message me and we'll talk about it some more. But basically, it's just taking somebody else's work and calling it your own, especially Wikipedia. I don't know why, but every semester I have a student who takes like an entire section from Wikipedia and submits it for part of their work. And there's a definite difference between a student's work and a Wikipedia page. And that's another thing that I want you guys to be aware of. Every student has an individual voice. And while we're going to try and unify it in terms of a business setting, I can still tell and pick up on your voice. So make sure that you are actively trying to improve and you are not stealing other people's information, because your professors really can tell when you're doing that. All right, that's enough of plagiarism. Let's jump into extra credit. I love, love, love extra credit. I think it's a great supplementary tactic that your professors can use when it's not abused. So I may offer some extra credit through this semester, things that maybe we can't hit on during class, but if you have extra time, then you can do on your own. But with that said, any missing assignment or any major assignment, and not, okay, let me start again. I got ahead of myself. Okay, so we have major assignments in the class. Those are not going to be your quizzes and your readings. Those are going to be the weekly assignments that do not say reading or quiz next to them. Okay, and then you have your final. If you miss any of those assignments that we're going to call major assignments, you haven't completed them, or you received less than a C plus on them, you're automatically disqualified from extra credit opportunities. Okay. Another thing about extra credit, I may provide you a couple extra credit opportunities, but what I love is when you guys approach me with some extra credit activity that you can do on your own, something that will help you in your future academic or professional career. You may be working at a company right now who needs help with press statements or with a social media plan, something like that. So approach me with some extra credit opportunities. I love that. We'll talk about it, make sure that we can negotiate the amount of work you're going to do for the credit that you're going to get. And I find that students like that approach better than me just giving them something to work on. Lastly, cell phones and laptops. This is not a face-to-face class, so I cannot monitor your usage of your cell phone or your laptop, but I would challenge you to set those distractions aside. You would be amazed how easy it is to do your assignment and understand it and retain that information when you don't have your cell phone next to you, when you're not texting while you're doing your homework, things like that. I would just encourage you to jump on that challenge. I do think that cell phones and laptops are great academic tools when they're used appropriately. So just make sure that you're using your technology appropriately. If it's an issue, this can be your outcome. If any of you guys know the Onion Network, love them. Love them. They are so funny. It's a news parody website. So go ahead and take a look at that link and let me know what you think. Okay, after that, that's pretty much standard. Okay, this is how I'm going to grade. Student support is always available for you guys. And if you're worried about student support in any way, come talk to me. And by come talk to me, I mean email me, because this is not face-to-face. I feel like I've said that 14 times. I need to get over that. So just email me and we'll work something out for you, okay? And that's basically it for the syllabus. So now I want to jump into the modules for this course. This is where all of your information is going to be. I've broken it up into weeks and sections. So week 1 is your introduction to writing. Week 2 is strategic writing. Week 3 is news writing. Week 4 is a social media plan. And week 5 is your final. That's where you're going to do your resume, your LinkedIn profile, and upload your writing portfolio in a sense, okay? So let me just take you to a few things. So we have reading assignments that are going to be due every week, and we also have quizzes. So let's start with the reading assignment. I will provide the PDF for you to read, and I have also provided a reading assessment for you. You don't have to type directly onto this PDF, but I would like you to follow this format. So this format, I think, is best for students, because if I give you a quiz, a lot of the times you're just going to skim through to try and find the answers and then move on. I really want you utilizing and applying this information to your coursework on campus, your future academic and professional goals. So just list the reading, the date. As you go through, any key words that you found, new words, words you're confused about, concepts that are interesting to you, write those down. This is a great way to help retain that information, and it also provides a sort of organization pattern for you to go back and look at if you need to further on in your academic career. I want you to give me a reading summary, 1 to 2 paragraphs is fine depending on the type of reading it is. The shorter the shorter the reading summary. But just give me that summary so I know you are retaining certain information. After that, I want you to apply the reading to your own interests, to your own career path, to your own academic course, anything like that. This application portion is crucial in helping you retain and understand the information. I don't have a limit on this portion, but I will tell you that the more you write and the more you apply and think critically about that, the better off you're going to be. Lastly, we have the question section. So we're doing a throwback to elementary school for a little bit, but this was my favorite part of reading assessments. When you go through your reading, write down any question you have, anything that you're confused about. After you've completed your reading, do a little bit more research to try and find the answer for yourself. This is really going to build your critical thinking skills. If you still don't have a clear answer after that, come talk to me and we'll work on it together. But I challenge you guys to ask at least one deep question. I don't like the superficial ones. I want like some sort of depth. How can you apply it to your own interests? What are you really not understanding? Ask one question and try and do a little bit of research for it. So that's what your reading assessments are going to look like. And those are all under the module section for you. And let's talk about the quizzes next. There's this really cool website that I have found to help you guys with your English skills and the practice and things like that. So basically, you're going to click on the link. You're going to take a screenshot of your score after you've taken the quiz and upload that, and that's going to be your score. So every quiz is 10 questions, if you can see. You're going to check your answers. And this is what you're going to take a screenshot of and upload it, okay? You can take this quiz as many times as you want to help you understand. I don't want you to just go through and take the quiz and call it good, blah, blah, blah. No, I really want you to understand, okay? There's a reading that accompanies most of these quizzes. So you can do this quiz online or print it on paper. It tests what you learned on our basic grammar rules page. So you just click on that page and go through it. There's going to be ads that are everywhere. It's kind of obnoxious, but it's just some supplementary information to help you guys work through grammar, punctuation, usage, things like that. And it gives you great examples. So these are the quizzes I want you to take. I was going to create my own, but I think this is going to be more useful for you because they do provide the information here for you before you take the quiz. So you just take a screenshot of that and you upload it, and they're 10 points each. Now let's move on to your assignments. The first assignment that you have is going to be your eulogy. And I did that because it's a really great way to practice your writing skills. So that's your first assignment. We'll talk about it in a minute. Then we're going to jump into strategic writing. And I'll introduce you to strategic writing. We're going to work on press releases. News releases, newsletters, whatever you want to call them. We're going to work on that style of writing where we're using the inverted pyramid to really work on that type of writing. Next, we're going to do news writing. So what is a hard news article? What is a feature piece? What are the different kinds of feature pieces? Things like that. And we're going to work together to create a newspaper. So you actually have two assignments here. The first one, I want you to collect articles, and I'll talk about this a little bit later too, but I want you to collect news articles because you can't write a certain way until you read that way. So you can't write a great press release until you've read dozens and dozens of press releases. You can't write an effective news article until you've read news articles. So that's what this assignment is collecting news articles and analyzing them. And then as a class, we're going to create a group newspaper. I will provide the channel that we'll put it on. Each student is going to be responsible for a hard news piece and a feature piece. And this is a really fun assignment. We don't have to have any sort of correlating stories. It's just fun to work on something as a group and have that kind of final product that you can share. Next, we're going to work on a social media plan. This is going to be very helpful if you're going to jump into Professor Holloman's social media. I think it's a badge now, not a certificate, but I would encourage working on that. And we're just going to do basics of search engine optimization, what social media marketing is, and then we're going to do a social media plan. This is the largest point assignment because there's a lot that goes into it. And as you go through the social media plan, you're going to understand what a real marketing plan is too. It is social media, but we're also utilizing news sources and maybe even press releases and things like that. So this is just kind of a nice wrap up to the semester. And then your final assignments are going to be a resume and your LinkedIn profile with a short portfolio of all the work we've done this semester. You're going to edit it and upload it onto LinkedIn. So that's kind of a course overview for this semester. And the first assignment you're going to do after you've read Keys to Effective Writing, which is due June 3rd, the first day of class, you're going to write your eulogy. This is a little bit morbid, I know, but it's a really, really fun assignment to get the students thinking creatively and working on the writing process. So if you don't want to think of it as a eulogy, that's fine. But basically, I want you to give me the highlights of your life. It's a great getting to know you assignment, but it's got a little bit of a twist on it because I can't do icebreakers in class. I can't see you guys. That makes me sad. You're probably not sad, but I am. I really love interacting with my students. So you're going to do a eulogy. This is what your assignment, most of your assignments are going to hold this format, where I have the title, the objectives, the description, any ideas and supplemental help, and the rubric. So for this assignment, we're going to practice the writing process. We're going to work on concise writing practices, and we're going to work on critical thinking through point of view, selection, and bragging. My students have a really hard time choosing the highlights of their life and bragging about themselves. So this is a fun challenge for you guys. Basically, for this assignment, you're going to do a little bit of research on your own and with the link I provided about eulogies in terms of length, content, audience, things like that. And you're going to write your own eulogy. You can have a third person point of view. You can have the point of view. I had a really fun one last semester where a student wrote their own eulogy from the perspective of their family dog. It was like a Labrador Retriever, and it was really cute how they approached it. Be creative with this assignment. I'm really excited to see what you guys will come up with. Remember that your writing should be concise and clear. Make sure that you go through and edit it, okay? But be creative with what information you want to give me so I can get to know you a little bit better, okay? Here's the rubric. Remember, read through your work, read through your work, read through your work, okay? I don't want you to get docked points for some dumb mistake like the difference between there and there when you know the difference. You just didn't look over it one more time. And that's where reading out loud comes in. Now, the writing process. This is a great assignment to work on the writing process. We're going to go back again to elementary school a little bit and talk about the writing process. There are 5 steps. And this is going to be the format, the editing format that you are going to use all semester. The first step, pre-writing. Second step, drafting. Third, revising. Fourth, editing. Fifth, publishing. Okay? This is the cycle that you're going to go through with every single assignment and every single written piece you will ever construct. So the pre-writing stage. This is where you're brainstorming. You're collecting all sorts of information. So for your eulogy, what information does my professor want or need to know about me? What would intrigue her? I'm a very curious person. Also, if you're a nerd, I will connect with you. I love nerdy stuff. So maybe you're going to throw something in about Doctor Who or Star Wars or Harry Potter, or a cool trip that you did last summer, or your fear of writing, something like that, where I am getting to know you, but you're also going through these steps. Another cool aspect of pre-writing is outlining. So this is just kind of basically listing things that you want to put into your first draft. Consider your audience. That's part of pre-writing. And making sure you have all the research and information that you need before you jump into the drafting stage. The drafting stage is kind of fun, but it's also kind of difficult. The description I like to use for this is barfing everything onto the page. It's kind of gross, but that's really what it is. You're just putting everything onto the page. You're getting it out of your head so that you can look at it and start reworking things, reorganizing, and that sort of process. So the drafting stage, just putting everything on the page. And get rid of your editors, okay? We all have internal and external editors. I had a creative writing professor who used to say that his editors sat on his shoulders. One of his editors was himself, and one of his editors was his wife. And he would just flick them off his shoulder, put them out of view, and start drafting, because you need that first draft before you really hone in on it and make it professional or make it creative, whatever the goal is of your writing, okay? So get rid of your editors. They'll come in at a later stage. After you have everything on your page, we're going to start the revision process. Revising is different than editing. Editing is looking at the sentence and making sure the commas are there, making sure you spell things correctly, yada, 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 which is great, but there's a reason it's the fourth step and not the third step. Revising is looking at big picture ideas. In my eulogy, I'm talking about my dog, and there's a point where it's important to the story, but I have it at the end. Maybe I should move it to the beginning. That didn't really make sense, but that's okay. That's what the writing process is, okay? So you're just looking at the information. I have a story about a dog. Should I move it? Should I not move it? What's going on here? Do I need to redo this entire idea? Do I need to take this story about my grandma out? What's going on? What can I do to make this message clear? What can I do to make this linear pattern? If you do the editing before you do the revising, you're going to spend a lot of time on that tedious process, and then you may just take out the paragraph that you made perfect grammatically. So that's why we want to do revising first. After we get all the big ideas in its spot, then we can go in sentence by sentence and make sure everything works. Once we are done with that editing part, we want to go and read it out loud, and we may have to start at the beginning. We may have to work on the pre-writing stage and the brainstorming stage again, or maybe that's good. We just need to work on another draft or revisions, things like that. So that's what makes it a cycle. You're going through this process multiple times, and then when you have a product that you are confident with and is professional, it's never going to be perfect. Never. Authors who have best-selling books will tell you it's not perfect. Even like Harper Lee, who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. There are tons of things she wants to fix in her book, but it's one of the most iconic stories in our history. So remember, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for professionalism and a polished draft. Once you have that, you're going to publish. And we're not talking publish with one of the big 5 publishing companies in New York. No. Publishing is getting somebody's eyes on your final draft. So in this case, for your eulogy, it will be submitting it to me, your professor. You're giving me your final draft for me to look over, make any corrections, and get to know you. For your LinkedIn profile and your resume, you are publishing, so employers and friends and connections can look at your work and see what you've done and what you're capable of. That's publishing. And we want that very last so that we have that opportunity to create a final draft. Okay? So keep that in mind as you're working on your eulogy. And lastly, I want to talk about the 2 hardest parts of this class. And I think I've touched on it a little bit, but I just really want to reiterate. The first one is timeliness. We have taken an entire semester and shoved it into a summer session, which is hard to do and very time consuming. So make sure you guys are staying on top of your work. If something is due on the 4th, make sure you're looking at it before it's due so you know exactly what I want from you, and you can really use those readings and apply them to the assignment. I don't want you to get behind, okay? That's going to be a little bit difficult. The second thing, I want you to use your creative and critical thinking skills in terms of topics. I will give you a prompt, like create a press release, but it is up to you guys to find a topic to write about. And this is one of the most frustrating portions of this class for my students, but I promise you, when you really work those critical thinking muscles, you will see a vast improvement in your writing skills from when you started to when you complete this course. And I love that process. I love seeing that light bulb turn on and like, yes, I get it now and I've improved. So I will not give you a topic. If you're still struggling and you're panicking, then of course, come talk to me. I'll brainstorm with you. But even then, I won't say, Jesse, do this topic, okay? That is up to you guys. So those are the two hardest parts of this class, I think. But again, it will help you immensely once you master these two portions. So use this writing process, work on your eulogy. Again, I'm not giving you a topic. You got to come up with that on your own. And if you have any questions, please let me know. I'm excited for this semester with you guys. And have a great first day.